Hello everyone and welcome to game 2 in the series between IM MVP versus LG Shew here on Tall Dream Altar. Shew spawning as the blue Protoss player here on the south side of the map. Meanwhile, MVP spawning as the red Terran. Terran versus Protoss on a rather large map now. And if the game does go long, I think this will be much better for Shew, as long as Shew is able to fend off any early engagements. Shew unable to really get any Colossi or any High Templars, and because of that, because of not being able to get any High Templars or Colossi, unable to really handle that Bioforce, and that Bioforce was simply able to buy time and then walk into that base. Now, with Shew spawning at what I'll call the 5 o'clock position and MVP spawning at what I'll call the 10 o'clock position, it will be quite some time before they find each other. Both of these bases are going to be very, very far from each other, and we'll see if Shew goes once again for a very fast Nexus. Probe already on its way out. It needs to do a bit of scouting and quickly going to scout in the the clockwise direction, and it will be a little bit of time before he finds his opponent. Meanwhile, in the base of MVP currently not going for gas once more. He does have SCVs queued up here, so he may be going for a gasless expansion opening. This has become a very, very popular expansion opening, as it does allow you to get your command center slightly faster than for a Reaper expand, while you don't really sacrifice too much map control, especially on a map as large as Tall Dream Altar. That one Reaper really isn't going to be able to do all that much. Now, taking a look in the base of Shew also going for a gasless expansion, but on top of that, he doesn't even have a gateway yet. This is one of those instances where I think a Reaper expansion would have actually worked out better, as there wouldn't be any stalkers for quite some time, and one early Reaper can deal a lot of damage. Now, you can see that the probe didn't want to get inside there. SCV looks like he's going to go ahead and just build a command center next. Marine is being added, orbital command already being upgraded, as there is that command center there. The probe did not see anything on the inside of MVP's base, so he's not sure if there is going to be Reapers. He's not sure if there's a command center or what type of build his opponent is going for, and that's going to be rather dangerous. LG Shew is going to be perhaps playing in the dark for a little bit of time, and he needs to really somehow scout. There is an SCV wandering around across the map as well. MVP going to come across his opponent's base in just a moment as we do get underway. We are going to transfer some probes over. 4 probes now being transferred, as that SCV going to come up the ramp and already spot the Nexus with that orbital command being chrono boosted. Marines still being added. Orbital command down over here. Orbital command over here has been completed, as we now see into the double barracks expand, which most likely will be followed by the double gas build, as MVP needs to make sure he doesn't fall too behind on gas. No, going into a triple or quadruple racks total. SCV just hanging around on the inside of the base. He should be able to outrun that Zealot, as that Zealot does move a little bit more slowly than that rocket entrusted SCV. SCV now getting back home, as we are going into a 4 racks after the expansion, and there's currently only 2 Marines in this bunker. I do believe, however, the scouting probe, yes, was taken down over here. That Zelnaga tower no longer activated, as there is a probe over here as well. Now, at this point, MVP may just try to do what he has been doing and using a lot of Marines to put down a lot of early pressure. He knows that his opponent most likely isn't going to be going into Colossi. A Colossi after expansion is rather risky, as you may not have purely enough gateway units in order to fight back. Now, quadruply training Marines at the same time, I believe MVP is going to get up to a very high number and surely rely on his macro to win this game for him, or at least try to get in a lot of damage over here. Pylon now warping in as well. We are going to see that the Stalker going to test that front door, really not be able to do very much, as the Marines getting in some easy damage there. That Stalker does have a range of 6 compared to a range of 5, as now you still see MVP adding more and more Marines. We are going to be having a squadron of Marines 14 Marines now on the move, as we now have 6 more Marines. Where are those Marines rallied? They rallied over here as they quickly take down a Stalker. Stalkers are back over here. We are going into that double refinery build now, as I mentioned, and we'll see how all of this unfolds, as the probe is now just looking for anything that they can find. SCV gets taken down and picked apart by a couple Stalkers there, as the Marines are now revealing themselves to that Zelnaga tower. A very large squadron of Marines looking to deal some damage, but there is a much stronger economy for Shew. If Shew is able to fend off this attack, he is going to be in a very nice position, but that is going to be a lot of Marines to deal with. Even without Stim, that is a lot of Marines to deal with. One Stalker gets taken down, another Zealot gets taken down, and now going after, I guess, some pylons as the Marines continue this chase in here. It looks like that one Stalker may get taken down. Yeah, one Stalker gets destroyed, as the Marines are going to go after one pylon, and if he can supply block Shew, Shew's going to be in trouble, as Shew now unable to warp in any reinforcements. Going after probes, the probes are getting taken down very easily, and now the probes are backing off once more, as the Marines are just going to start pushing themselves inside the space, trying to maximize their damage, taking down the key units, and now the Marines know that they have been taken down, but more Marines are still in a conga line across the map. We are going into a tech lab. Some workers were killed. 43 probes now compared to 39 SCVs, but MVP does have a lot of energy and can really call in those mules and get a very strong attack. Stalkers now continuing this pressure will finish off these Marines here, as the Stalkers just stand their ground and finish off all of those units. We are going to have one bunker. There's also a missile turret as well, making sure no sight is given onto the high ground, as more mules are still being called into play. MVP is still sitting on over 100 energy, at least on one of his orbital commands, as we now see more tech labs being added. So this is going to be going into a very, very Marauder-heavy build, as I cannot imagine Mass Reaper going to be the strategy coming in from Shew. Now, we do see a third expansion, or a third base coming in from Shew now. So Shew, if he's able to saturate this base, he does have a harvester advantage at 51 probes compared to 44. And if he is able to get in enough probes down over here, he'll be able to ride his economic wave all the way to victory. Zealots do not have any weapons upgrade. Meanwhile, we see level 1 weapons upgrade, level 1 Stim, combat shield, and concussive shells all being added, with 2 reactors being built at the same time. Going into very heavy barracks play, you can now see a reactor being built over here and a starport. We're going to have a lot of Marines, a lot of Marauders, and just a whole bunch of units, and MVP's army is going to be going and executing a timing attack, I believe, after establishing a command center here. That's really what he's trying to go for. He's trying to make sure that he has a large enough army to take down any of the gateway units before any serious AoE does come in, like those High Templars and that Psystorm research. Orbital Command has already finished upgraded. It will land here in just a moment, as we see that Shew has established his natural expansion, or his third base, slightly faster, but that Orbital Command with 3 mules will make a very big difference, as this Orbital Command will be landing in just a moment. Medevacs being added, combat shield, another reactor being built as well, and also going into a tech or Ghost Academy. So the Ghost Academy for EMP Shockwave, and those ghosts should be able to get in some critical EMP Shockwaves, and who will get, or who is more effective with their spellcasters? High Templars with feedback. Or what is this? Did he actually scan this out? Oh, I believe he perhaps expects that there is an expansion over there. The Marauders and the Marines are going to completely scout this out, and this is going to be very bad news, as the Marauders and the Marines can simply engage here and not really worry. Probes are coming in alongside, Zealots coming in from the back, the Marauders and the Marines just running straight inside this group, and Shew, who had such a strong economic advantage, now very far behind, as Psystorm, the High Templars, getting destroyed here. This is no good at all. Another High Templar taken down. Psystorm now coming in, raining on all of these units here. But I believe MVP just dealing a devastating blow, completely catching Shew off guard. And it really felt like an MVP somehow knew about this expansion over here. Medevacs finally joining in on the fight. Are they going to jump in Yes, they are able to jump in here, and now going to drop off over here. There is a Zealot, and the Zealot will be able to finish off all of those units as the factory now starting to float around. Harvester count 51 compared to 60. There are currently 4 mules in play, though, so MVP just continuing to produce a lot of units from all of these barracks. More than 7 barracks, or actually 7 barracks back at home, as this one barracks was lifted off and I believe re-landed there. Marauders and the Marines catching probes out of position in transit, and now with no proxy pylon and only 1 proxy pylon here and not enough gateways, he's not going to be able to really reinforce High Templars, and many of them, 6 High Templars in this group, as another command center being built at the 9 o'clock 3rd base location, or 4th base location, excuse me. Marines and Marauders may go for a drop now, and it looks like it's going to be a split drop here as more probes do get taken down. This factory is taking a bit of damage. Where is this medevac going? 3 Marauders, 2 Marines, as more units coming back in over here. And there's a Psystorm, and more Psystorm could be coming in as the Assimilator now taking a lot of damage. Gas is going to be a problem. Feedback onto the medevacs as a drop now hitting the main base as well. Going to be going after these pylons. I do not believe it's going to stop any of the warp in here as the Zealots are in position. And now all of these units are forced to back off, and now it looks like MVP going to be putting pressure at this 3rd base location even before it gets up and running. Factory getting shot out of the sky by that Archon there, but in comes the Marauders and the Marines. In comes the Marauders and the Marines over here as well. Both sides putting in the pressure. It looks like the Nexus may get canceled in just a moment, and we now see the Marauders and the Marines going to engage against Zealots. The Zealots, even with charge, unable to really deal that much damage. And there's a nice pickup there as the medevac going to perhaps drop off and try to re-engage over here. Double Forge research. More units are being warped in as well. Marauders are landing, and now the Marines coming in. There's the feedback, and that poor medevac unable to really heal any of those units. Marauders and Marines coming around the far side of the map. Command center has been completed. No upgrade to an orbital command just quite yet. Another base being established here as the Marauders and Marines are now coming in. We could be getting in a Psystorm. There is 2 Psystorms right there, but Ghosts now are going to come in as well. EMP Shockwave, that's going to be bad news. There's some EMPs as the Zealots get taken down, but there's still plenty of High Templars in the back of this squadron. Marines and Marauders dropping off at the natural expansion, and MVP up to 200 food now, knows that he can just engage and try to engage very smart. There's some EMP Shockwaves. There's a Psystorm, only 1. Perhaps some more Psystorm could be coming in as well. Is it going to rain anymore? Yes, more Psystorm coming in. Oh, another Psystorm could have been cast, as now 2 Archons quickly destroyed by these stimmed Marines and Marauders. And it looks like MVP can simply just hold this position here, make his way in with 4 medevacs, heal, get a lot of damage dealt, and there's the GG. Well played by LG Shew. So LG Shew losing in this best of 3 series 2-0 to MVP. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this game here on Tall Dream Altar.